Before this video starts, a small warning. This is not a summary. If it were, it would be a list of things we already covered and there would be no reason to watch. This is something different. Over the past month, we have built 9 separate arguments about cats. Each one was true on its own, each one was incomplete. What this video does is stack them one on top of the other and show what appears when they are all in the same frame at the same time. The picture that emerges is not what most people expect, and it does not fit into any word the language currently offers. Here is what we built. Video 1. Signs of cat love. Most of them are not what the internet claims. Slow blinking is readiness for interaction, not a declaration. The belly is context dependent, head bunting is territorial. Video 2. Sleeping next to a person has 3 layers: thermal, vulnerability and attachment, and only the last one involves something like choice. The night video showed that while the person sleeps, the cat runs a 9-hour sensory patrol through a world no human can access. The psychology video revealed that the bond activates infant protection circuits, attachment mechanisms, and acoustic shortcuts in the human brain. The mistakes video showed 5 ways owners misread signals the cat has been sending clearly for months. The purring video dismantled the biggest myth in the niche. The second cat video showed that coexistence is not friendship and tolerance is not love. The perception video found that science does not know what category a cat puts a human in, and that uncertainty is more honest than any confident label. The loneliness video said what no other channel says, that for many people the cat is the only consistent presence, and that is not weakness. The climbing video broke the behaviour into thermal, territorial and regulatory layers and showed that needing rewires the entire meaning. 9 arguments. 9 different mechanisms, and here is the problem. Not one of them uses the word love accurately. Every time we reached for it, we had to pull back. The slow blink is not love, the sleep is not love, the purr is not love, the paw is not love, the climbing is not love. Each one is something real, something measurable, something the cat genuinely does, but none of them map onto the human definition of love, which involves conscious choice, emotional reciprocity, sacrifice, long-term commitment, and the ability to imagine a future together. Cats do not do any of those things, not because they are cold, because their nervous system was not built for it. A cat does not sacrifice sleep to be near a person, she sleeps there because her system runs better next to that heat source. A cat does not choose to show trust by turning her back. Her muscles relax because the threat assessment returned to 0. A cat does not decide to knead a person's chest out of gratitude. The kneading circuit fires because the sensory inputs match the earliest pattern of safety her brain ever recorded. Every behaviour we covered this month is real, but none of it involves the deliberate emotional calculus that humans call love. But here is the other side. Calling it instinct does not work either. Instinct implies automatic, generic, interchangeable. A cat that thermoregulates on a warm lap is following instinct. A cat that marks a person's body with scent glands is following instinct. But a cat that waits 15 minutes for a specific person's breathing to settle before climbing onto their chest is not following a generic program. She is responding to a specific individual whose patterns she has memorized over months. A cat that checks the same person's breathing every morning at the same time but ignores a guest sleeping in the same room is not running on autopilot. She has built a model of one particular human and responds to deviations from that model. That is not instinct in the way people usually mean the word. It is learned, individual and specific. Remove the person and replace them with someone of the same size and temperature, and the cat does not behave the same way. The behaviour is keyed to an individual, not a category. So if it is not love, and it is not instinct, what is it? There is no clean term. Attachment comes closest, but attachment describes the mechanism, not the experience. A cat that is securely attached to a person will seek proximity, show distress at absence, and calm down on return. Those are measurable behaviours. But attachment theory was designed for human infants and later adapted for animals. It describes the pattern. It does not capture the full texture of what happens between one specific cat and one specific person over 5, 10, 15 years of shared space. The midnight patrol that ends at the same spot on the bed, the paw that adjusts when the arm moves, the purr that starts when the breathing slows, the kneading that only appears on one person's chest. The 4 months of hiding under the bed followed by a single night when the cat moves to the foot of the mattress and everything changes. The way a cat who's lived with someone for a decade will walk into a room, scan it, find the person, and then visibly settle, as if the scan itself was the point. The way a person who has been gone for 2 weeks comes home and the cat sniffs them for 45 seconds before head-butting their chin, reclaiming weeks of lost scent in a single gesture. None of those moments is love in the way a person loves another person, and none of them is instinct in the way a reflex is instinct. They exist in a space between the two that the language has not named, and maybe that is fine. Maybe the absence of a word is not a failure of language, but an honest reflection of what the thing actually is. Humans name things to control them, to categorize, to file away, but some things resist filing. The bond between a person and a cat might be one of them. It is built from heat, scent, sound, proximity, and the slow accumulation of safe nights. It is real enough to lower cortisol and change sleep patterns. It is specific enough to distinguish one person from every other person on the planet. It is old enough to involve neural circuits that predate human language by millions of years. And it is quiet enough that most people never examine it. They just feel it every evening. When the apartment door closes and something warm settles onto the couch beside them, the quietness is part of what makes it difficult to name. Loud things get words quickly. Anger, joy, grief, love. Those are unmistakable, and the language caught up early. But the thing between a person and a cat operates below the volume at which language activates. It happens in the body, not in the mind. It registers as warmth, not as thought. And by the time the person notices it, it has already been running for hours. What I have learned from 20 years with 5 cats is that the most accurate description of this bond is not a word. It is a moment. The moment when nothing is happening. No feeding, no playing, no petting, no emergency. Just 2 organisms in the same room, breathing, existing, neither one needing anything from the other, and both choosing to stay. That moment does not have a name. It does not need one. It just needs to be noticed. This was the first month, 10 videos, 1 channel, 1 voice. We started with a list of signs and ended somewhere the list cannot reach. Next month, we go into territory that no cat channel covers willingly. It starts with a question that most owners do not want to ask out loud. What if your cat does not love you? Not because she is broken, not because something went wrong. What if the bond simply is not there, and how would you even know? What does it look like when a cat lives in the same apartment as a person but has not formed an attachment? What are the signals, and are they different from what most people mistake for independence? That conversation is next, and it might be the most honest one we have had. Because the opposite of understanding is not ignorance. It is the comfortable story that keeps someone from looking closely, and looking closely is what this channel is for.